everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Unsank Podcast. I'm your host, Lex, and I'm here to help you stay afloat in the rocky waters of life. Today, we have a very special episode with my special guest, Hope, who is here to talk to us all about trauma and nutrition and how those things go together and how a healthy diet can help you heal your trauma. So, Hope, thank you so much for being here today. I am really excited about this episode. My mom was really big into nutrition. I'm really big into nutrition. So I'm really stoked to have you here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unsank Podcast, the podcast that's all about staying afloat in the rocky waters of life. I'm your host, Lex, and I'm here to help you overcome whatever life throws your way. Each episode, we'll be discussing a new topic, from healing trauma to building confidence and rising above the waves, all with the goal of helping you become the badass you were always meant to be. So, if you're ready to take control of your life, then Unsank Pod is the podcast for you. Now, let's dive right in because we have some sailing to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Lex. I appreciate it.
So, can you start off by telling us a little bit about how you got into nutrition and trauma healing and how you kind of figured out how those two things come together and how this all began?
Yeah, so I have an interesting story, I guess, as a lot of people do. And I guess one of the first things I want to say is that everything is connected: mind, body, spirit. And so there's not one specific modality that can, cure or help one specific thing, specifically, let's say trauma. And nutrition certainly plays a role in it, but there's a lot of different factors in healing and dealing with trauma, especially if you're dealing with capital letter T trauma. To kind of back up with my personal story, I am in my mid 40s now. My birthday is actually next week. And in my first kind of career was in ultra running. I was a sponsored ultra runner and was in the health and wellness space, did a lot of advocacy work, a lot of education on teaching people how to take care of their mind, body, spirits, and really saw a disconnect within the health fitness world. And it was very siloed. And I'm like, we need to merge everything to kind of, together. And my personal background is I toiled on one of the first organic farms in the country. And so these principles have been installed in my entire life. I don't know any other way but to eat healthy.
Right.
And it was funny. I was talking with a friend yesterday and they were giving an example. And I'm like, you can't use that example on me. I would never have that for breakfast.
Yeah.
I am like just so trained. It's just that I only eat healthy. Like,
yeah.
I don't even think of doing anything else. And so I'm very grateful for all that, because in the last couple of years, the trauma and tragedy that I've experienced is quite significant. And so just kind of the personal story is I was in a very abusive relationship with a guy and, kind of has the traits of a sociopath and narcissist, and had a little baby, and he used the court system against me and had a lot of money and abusive power and control. And he stole my baby from me.
Oh my God.
And so my son was 4 years old at the time, lived his entire life with me, really never saw his father. By choice on his part. And as of this recording, I don't know where my son is 2.5 years into this.
Can you file a missing children's report? Like, what do you do in that instance?
Yeah. We don't have a justice system. We have a legal system, and the legal system supports abusers.
Yeah, I can't say that you're wrong. Yeah, the same thing, not with the baby, but basically my abuser also got off scot-free. So yeah, I can totally, yeah. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, I mean, my son, I mean, he knew his entire life with a safe, protective mother, and my ex was just so unhealed from his trauma that he never he never even is conscious of
Yeah.
that he has just cut and, metaphorically cut and hurt so many women, and particularly
Right.
me, son.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, my son is 6 years old at this time, and I know nothing. And
Oh.
so, having your baby, just, when I say baby, I think as mother to mother, we
Yeah,
all,
it's still your
you know,
baby.
it's
Yeah.
your, whether they're 20 or 2 months, so
Yeah, that's your baby.
it's
Yeah.
your, and,
No.
as biological mothers, as biological women, we carry the cells of our children with us forever. It's just like having a leg. And that's
Yeah.
why, in working with trauma specialists in my specific situation the last couple of years, I'm like, I am missing a leg metaphorically. Like,
Yeah.
this, these cells in my body are like, where does my child?
Yeah.
So, um, I'm very glad I have a background in health and wellness, and
Yeah.
then nutrition, and it's been able to help me navigate this incredibly traumatic time.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, like, even to put into words how difficult it's
I
been.
can only imagine. Yeah. I'm so
And
sorry you're going through that. That's awful.
thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's been brutal, and I'm hoping for some relief here soon. Anyway, so that's the personal
Yeah.
kind of story of what
Yeah.
I've been continuing to go through, and
Yeah.
I guess I believe in the universe that, gives you this gift. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And so Hope Rose is kind of the metaphor. It's not my legal birth name, but it's really what source gave me
Yeah.
of lighthouse for other people going through really difficult, dark, traumatic times. And like, if I can rise from these ashes, so can you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I
Hope
love that.
just, really dark, impossible situations. And
Yeah.
so I have a podcast, and just kind of my entrepreneurial businesses are all focused on this metaphor for the
Yeah.
most. So I guess, specifically, I just kind of tapped into my knowledge of
Yeah.
nutrition and trauma, and I just see so many people struggling with, whether it's anxiety or they can't sleep, or just so many different things. And I'm like, I can help you. I have resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, excited to kind of share some of my applied knowledge. I don't have a degree in this. I don't have a piece
Yeah.
of paper. That's not my philosophy. I believe you don't need pieces of paper to necessarily justify what you know. I just
Yeah.
have a very deep knowledge base, and also personal use of how I've been able to navigate some really tough times
Yeah.
one way through proper nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in what ways have you noticed that your background in nutrition and health and all and wellness and all that? In what ways have you noticed that that's helped you? Uh,
I think, hearing other people's reading and hearing other people's story, how they're really, and I'm not saying I don't struggle either, but
mhm.
at least, I choose not to drink by choice alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, uh, and I just see so many that are turning to that. And it's
Yeah.
like, they need a glass of wine before they go to bed. And before you know it, like, they can't go to sleep, or they can't unwind without a glass of wine or whatever it is. And so,
Yeah.
uh, I don't think I would be here if I didn't have my healthy habits. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
level,
100%.
yeah, the level
Yeah.
of truth that I've endured, if I didn't have these healthy habits ingrained, it would be a nightmare. And I've
Yeah.
seen it happen in other people. And so I guess that's evidence to
Yeah.
support my hypothesis.
Yeah.
And yeah, just, I'm so ingrained to just, still make healthy choices, because I know how I feel. Like, I guess it's also like, I don't want to put like glyphosate into my body that would kill me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like in
Yeah,
like,
like, you're not gonna drink bleach. Yeah.
yeah. So, I'm not, like, I eat sweets,
Yeah.
but very, like, I'm very mindful of, like, I make basically everything from scratch. And so it's all
Yeah.
organic ingredients.
Yeah.
Use, coconut sugar instead of brown sugar. I'll use
Yeah.
honey. And I think that's what people like mistake. It's like, oh, if I eat healthy, I can never have, a cookie or a slice of cake. And it's like, no, like, eat stuff that your body knows that it's good. There's a
Yeah.
difference between eating a cookie made with organic ingredients versus
Right.
synthetic.
Right.
Your body knows the difference.
Right.
Chocolate, for example, like I'm very particular on what kind of dark chocolate.
Mhm.
Not necessarily milk chocolate. I don't think that's entirely healthy, but dark chocolate has some benefits.
Yeah.
Just making sure it either has no sugar or very low. I really like Theo chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, I like their chocolate bars too. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can still have your sweets eating healthy. It's
Yeah.
just you're making upgraded choices is
Yeah.
what I would say. Like
Totally.
choices that align with your body, with the universe, what your body was designed to eat, not some artificial,
Yeah.
no fake meat, no fakeness. And I
Yeah.
feel like no, this word gets thrown around, toxic. And so I
Yeah.
guess I also equate like nutrition for healing trauma as like you wouldn't have a toxic relationship.
Mhm.
Why put toxic stuff, into your body? Same with what you read, listen to, watch,
Yeah.
like everything kind of has, it's very binary. It's like
Yeah.
this is either good for you or as one of my teachers says, like it's either aligned or misaligned.
Yeah.
And so like, oh, is this show toxic for me? Or is this show uplifting me and helping me and like inspiring me and gives me ideas to help the world? And so that's kind of the lens I look through.
Yeah.
Oh, is this nourishing me or is
Yeah.
this depleting me?
Yeah.
And I'm a super disciplined person anyway, and
Yeah.
so maybe that's why it kind of comes easy to me. But anybody can do this if they want it bad enough, you
Yeah.
can this way too. And it's a mindset shift, it's a lifestyle shift,
Yeah.
and it's accessible to anyone. And excuses, some people are like, oh, organic's expensive. Well, you know what, disease is expensive. Like let's you
Yeah.
know let's look where you're spending your money. Are you spending your money on alcohol? Put that money into organic food.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of reallocate, where your
Yeah.
funds are going. So it's not
Yeah.
necessarily that it's expensive, is that you're just choosing to put your
Yeah.
money in different places.
Yeah. It's
For
a choice.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't choose to own a TV, so I don't have a cable bill.
Yeah.
So it's
I
kind of
have
getting
a TV, but I don't let's do cable. Most of the time, if I'm watching TV, it's like I'll put a podcast on in the background or something while I clean and just use it for YouTube mostly.
that's awesome.
But
Um, yeah, so many people have excuses of like organic's expensive, and
yeah.
if that's the belief you choose to hold in your consciousness, then that's where you are. But if you
Yeah.
want to elevate and up level and like, okay, like I want to help, heal my trauma, or I want to feel better, or I want to sleep better, this is what you do, which is more like on the supplement level, I guess I would
Yeah.
say. So I'm very big into herbs.
Okay, cool.
And so herbal tinctures are probably like my
Uh-huh.
um, go-to. And since we're on video, I'll show two of
Yeah.
them.
Great.
But this is Herb Farm. It's
Uh-huh.
hard to see with my camera, but it's holy leaf basil, holy
Yeah.
basil. Another one is kava,
Uh-huh.
um, and that really helps with the nervous system. And
Yeah.
so trauma. Let me pause and kind of backtrack a little bit. So when our system, our human system, mind, body, spirit, is under attack, it perceives a lion, and we're not living in the jungle. At least
Right.
most people listening to this podcast are not listening. They're not in a jungle listening to this.
It'd be kind of cool if they were though.
It would absolutely. I kind of say that because our ancestors,
Yeah.
lived in caves, and their fight flight response was they had to fight off the saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah.
Well, our tigers today have moved into trauma, or children being ripped from us,
Yeah.
glyphosate's being sprayed in the air. And if people don't know what glyphosate is, it's the main chemical
The
in Roundup.
chemtrails, right? Yeah, chemtrails.
Yeah, there's chemtrails too. So
Yeah.
glyphosate is in Roundup, and Roundup is
Oh, the
is
food's being sprayed with it.
the
Got
food, and then when you spray it, it goes into the air,
Yeah.
goes into the water. And so that's a stress on our system. There's EMFs. Like basically, our society is a stressed out society at this point because everything is
Right.
perceived as stress. And so all of our, as a collective, all of our systems, our bodies are all under this constant, fight, flight response.
Mhm.
Before our ancestors were able to shake it off, they killed the tiger, they went back to their cave, ate it, or did whatever, and they came down at, homeostasis. Today, we don't have that. And so that's why, people can't sleep. Their anxiety is high.
Mhm.
They have weight gain, fatigue in the morning. They can only function with, 5 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
So part of my passion and mission, I guess, is to really educate and shine the light on, like, here, this is what you do. And so herbal tinctures are a fantastic way to do that.
Yeah.
Um, there's another one that Herb Farm makes, is just an adrenal tincture as well. And so
Oh,
those really,
nice.
yeah, those support the nervous system. You can
Oh,
take it with
great.
a bit of, like, 100% organic juice,
Mhm.
every morning, and that will kind of help your system mitigate that flight response. And so I'm really passionate about adrenal fatigue,
Mhm.
and actually did a course on adrenals many years ago, because adrenals are, it's a walnut size shaped organ that
Mhm.
sits right above the kidneys, and it's home to over 50 hormones.
Mhm.
And that's where the fight flight kind of response is housed in. So when
Oh,
the adrenals are off, everything is off, from
yeah.
mood to weight gain to weight loss, even to not be able to sleep. So,
Mhm.
I mean, hormones, just think of how many, that 50 plus hormone is a lot in that one
Yeah,
specific.
that's a lot. Yeah.
And so that's why everything I kind of do is always centered around healing the adrenals, like
Mhm.
keeping those adrenals calm and stable to combat the stress of whatever it is, that you're, if it's, psychological, spiritual, emotional, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, herbal tinctures are my number one recommendation that I use and then recommend for other people. And then the other one is magnesium. And
Okay.
so most people are taking magnesium orally, and years ago I used to as well. However, magnesium is best absorbed through the feet, transdermal.
Oh,
And
great. Yeah.
yeah, and so as we are recording,
Uh,
I am soaking my feet in a glass bowl of water with
yeah.
with this magnesium soak. I
Oh,
don't know if you,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is from Living. They're not a sponsor, but
Yeah.
they should be. Uh,
Yeah.
I recommend this all the time. Living the Good Life Naturally,
Mhm.
and that is the best way to get magnesium into your body, and it's safe
Yeah.
for kids. You can take a bath. I don't have a bathtub, so that's why I just soak my feet. And you want
Mhm.
to soak your feet for at least like 45 minutes, and like that. This magnesium, excuse me, this specific magnesium supplement has has been a game changer.
Yeah. Wow.
Digestive, yeah,
Okay.
digestive system, overall mood. I can tell when I don't take it.
Okay.
Um, and so she has like a 30-day challenge where do, I like to say night challenge. So I like to do it at night before bed. You can do it anytime. Just, if you're sitting, put your
Yeah.
feet in a bowl
Soak
of
your
water.
feet. Why not?
It's
Yeah.
easy. Exactly. Get your little, foot soak on.
Yeah.
And so that is like one of the number one supplements I would recommend for everybody. Because
Okay.
when we're under stress,
Mhm.
our magnesium levels deplete rapidly.
Okay.
So keeping our magnesium levels, you can do a specific blood test. She has it on her website. I believe or she recommends it. She doesn't do the blood test, but it's the test you would want to get is, I think, RBC is the name of the lab
Okay.
that you would to
Yeah.
get it. But you want optimal magnesium levels. And
Okay.
so under a lot of stress, both hands are raised.
Okay.
Keeping, your magnesium levels
Yeah.
at bay will
All
really
right.
help mitigate what else is going on.
Cool.
Another supplement I really like is GABA, GABA. I
Maybe
know it's
it keeps trying to blur. Maybe if you put your hand like behind the bottle. No, behind the bottle.
bottle.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Um, yep. This is GABA, I guess. GABA, yeah, GABA. It's just a
Yeah.
lozenge that you can
Cool.
take. And so if your mood is just, you're feeling down, I really notice a difference. You can suck on the
Really?
lozenge.
Okay, awesome.
So that's a super, super good supplement to take. Um,
And I'll
and
make
then,
sure that I have all these linked in the description of the podcast so that people can go get them because this is all awesome. Thanks so much for sharing all these.
yeah, you're welcome. And then this is still like nutrition. It's more supportive throughout the day, I
Yeah.
guess. So if you're dealing with anxiety, one of the things I really like Bach flower
Yeah.
essences. So these again are like little, herbal natural stress relief lozenges. They also have like a
Yeah.
sleep time spray, but these are all things that can kind of help mitigate the trauma that you are healing from. It's supportive.
Mhm.
You might be doing, like counseling and therapy and energy work and like all the different things.
Yeah.
Like it's imperative that you eat excellent. Actually, that
Yeah.
was kind of my personal podcast this week of like take care of your well-being. Like
Yeah.
you're doing so many other therapies, it's important to get the sleep. Well, if you're not sleeping, let's support you with magnesium. If you
Yeah.
can't get up, if you're struggling to function in the morning, then what are you drinking? Can you not live without coffee? Let's switch you to like maca. So maca is it's a powder that comes from South America. It looks like a sugar beet almost, but it's
Yeah.
grinds up into like a cream powder. That's
Okay.
a great way to get natural energy.
Okay.
I don't drink coffee.
I'm a
I was
huge coffee drinker. I'm that person that needs the 5 cups of coffee to get out of bed. I'm that person.
so
Yeah.
supporting your body through because the thing I don't drink about coffee was one, I never wanted to get addicted to something that I had to have.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if if I'm somewhere remote and I don't have my coffee and I'm really addicted to it, I don't want to do that. So I
Yeah.
just have I like alcohol. I just choose not to have it in my life.
Yeah.
Um, at least maybe even switch to like decaf or like come off the caffeine a little bit because the problem is I know there's some biohackers out there that say it's a superfood. I am not sold on that because I've just seen the damage it does to people's bodies and adrenal
Yeah.
systems. It
Mm.
just stresses them out like you're depleting your natural energy. Like you're kind of getting it from the outside versus in like
Yeah.
internally
Yeah.
and like supporting it naturally. So that's kind of why I do that. And then I guess I'll just add this in too is that coffee is very high in pesticides
Hmm.
and mold. And so if
Oh
somebody
yeah, I
does,
did just learn that. That made me rethink that a little bit. Made me rethink it.
and there's certainly Purity coffee um, is is a good coffee to check out. They are like mold tested, certified, or they're very transparent. Because people ask me, I'm like, well, I guess I better look up what coffee I would
Yeah, I
recommend.
know, for real. I instantly was like Googling.
Um, that and then Kion, I believe, is a really good brand as well. Pesticide free. Because if not, you're drinking glyphosate and pesticides, which again
Yeah.
is not helping, your
Yeah.
body.
No.
So, yeah, those are kind of like I don't know, the quick five, nutritional things of kind of really how to take care of your body. I mean, drinking, filtered water is essential, really staying hydrated, adding a little bit of sea salt to your water because our
Yeah.
water today it doesn't hydrate again like it did, a couple hundred years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And even organic food, it might not have the synthetic pesticides on it, but our soil is so depleted from
Yeah.
nutrients
Hmm.
that it doesn't even have the nutrient quality that organic foods originally had because our
Yeah.
soil is depleted. And so that's why it's really good to, supplement with like specific vitamins and minerals that your body will absorb. And
Hmm.
so this is one of my quotes is like, a multivitamin won't cover the sins of your day
Yeah.
because most multivitamins are complete crap. They're synthetic. The body can't
Yeah.
absorb them. I don't have the bottle here, but if
They
somebody like,
just look like crap. Like if you go and you look at it in the store, I always look at those things. I'm like, who is this helping? Like you're telling me that all the vitamins you need is just in that one little thing. I don't buy it. I've never bought it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's why you just basically pee them out because your body can't absorb it. And
Yeah.
so the reason why I lean more to herbs is, from a, universal nature based principle is like,
Yeah.
yeah, nature gives us what we need. And
Right.
so, um, Earthly Wellness. I can send you the link to put in the show notes as well. But she has a great multivitamin. It's a herbal tincture. She has a men's and a women's and a children's one. That's fantastic as a multivitamin. It's just an herbal tincture.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as far as like, specific eating, of just really, asking yourself, is this nourishing me? You know,
Yeah.
is is this for my higher good in the spiritual sense of it? And maybe that can kind of shift somebody from like, oh, maybe this cupcake doesn't really help me. That's why I have a headache.
Yeah.
Maybe I can choose some hummus and, carrots or cucumber and something like nourishing. Um, that will feel really good to you too. Like,
Oh, thank you so much for being here today. Do you have any exciting projects coming up? Anything you'd like to chat with us about or share before we wrap this up?
yeah, thank you so much for having me and letting me share a little bit of my story and my passion to help other humans heal their hurt.
Yeah.
And yeah, turning their ashes into art is kind of one of my taglines and the metaphor behind Hope Rose. What projects am I working on? Yeah, I'm working on a few different things. One is workplace wellness,
Mhm.
helping people in the workplace understand how to build healthy habits. And I have a very specific method to do that. So that's one thing I'm working on. And then I have kind of like a healing collective membership that I've also launched. And so supporting, single mothers or anybody kind of looking to have healing in a supportive space that understands, trauma and also like the holistic side of it, and
Yeah.
making it accessible. That's online as well. And then I know there's a lot of different projects I'm working on. I guess the last one I'm working on a subscription box
Mhm.
for specifically for women coming out of partnership, out of relationships, and helping them get their glow back.
Mhm.
And
Oh, I love
um,
that.
yeah, all around nutrition and health and healing. And um, yeah, that's one of the projects I'm working on.
Yeah, great. And then where can people find you online, social media, all the places?
Yeah, I typically hang out on Threads and Instagram under Hope Rose Speaks. And then my website is hoperosespeaks.com. And then, oh, yeah, my podcast is Pain to Purpose with a Side of Hope. It just launched about a month ago. And yeah, we kind of talk about all things healing and trauma and health and wellness and spiritual growth, I guess, would be another category.
Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the little tidbits and supplements, and I can't wait to try them all out. So thank you so
Awesome.
much. All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, stay in sync, everybody. Bye. Thank you for joining us on this amazing episode of Unsank Pod. I hope that you found inspiration, healing, and the courage to rise above the waves of life. To stay connected and receive updates on future episodes, follow us on Instagram at unsank.co and unsank.pod. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at unsank_co. For additional resources and information, visit our website at unsankco.com. You can also find our episodes on popular podcast platforms such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, and many more. Before we part ways, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you who have shared your time with us. Your openness and willingness to explore the path to healing have made this podcast truly special. Keep healing, keep growing, and keep spreading the light to those around you. Take care, and remember to stay unsank.